You wanna know what I think the worst thing is that the internet's doing to people right now? It's leading everybody to believe that everybody else is an idiot, especially people that disagree with them. Everybody's first reaction to somebody that disagrees with them is like, oh, you're an idiot. It's like, actually, the vast majority of people aren't idiots. They just either are coming from a different background, have a different belief system, have different reasons, have different, like, it's a whole variety of things. Assuming that somebody else is an idiot, especially when they're professional in their field, is like the worst mistake one person can make. And if everybody stopped just immediately claiming everybody else is an idiot, I think the world would be a better place.
Hey, what's up? Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, Boogie2988 coming at you live once again to the power of the internet. And today I have a very special guest for one of my little hangouts here that we do occasionally. I haven't done one of these in several months. Today we have Brad McQuaid, lead designer of several games, most notably the very famous EverQuest, the game that some people might consider infamous, Vanguard, and of course his new project, Pantheon. Whoa! Sorry, 1 second. I'm deafening myself in another window. And his new project, Pantheon, is currently in the Kickstarter stage. You'll find a link to it here below. Hey, hello, Brad. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on your show, man. Appreciate it.
I really appreciate it. Now, as you know, I was a big EverQuest guy. I played on the Praxis server. Do you remember Praxis at all?
Absolutely.
Keepers of the Faith. I was Uber Wolf. I'm so sorry for what a terrible name that was.
Oh, there is a lot worse names than that.
I often like to credit myself for the fact that World of Warcraft would not allow you to have Uber in a name. It was entirely my fault. That's what I like to pretend. And I was sort of famous and infamous on that server. Did you ever play on Praxis?
I did not play on Praxis. We actually played kind of with different names, not letting people know who we were, but our big guild was on Vishan.
Oh yes. Now, what guild was that? Have you ever said that publicly? I've always wanted to know.
No, still haven't.
It's a big secret. Okay, all right. I have talked to a few of our old friends who I played with on the test server during that period of time, and a few of the people who were really excited to see us do this today. They said it's a meeting that's been fated for a long time. So. But that was one of my favorite things about EverQuest, and it's something that I am hoping that you're bringing to Pantheon. EverQuest gave you the ability to be server famous, and that was a lot of that had to do with the social aspects of EverQuest. And I'd love it if you tell us a little bit about that. Like what specifically, how did you design EverQuest to specifically encourage social engagement?
Well, my inspiration really came from playing Tex Muds back in the early '90s. That's where a lot of the inspiration, a lot of the design. I'm happily ready to admit that we definitely, if it hadn't have been for those experiences that Steve Clover and I had on Muds, EverQuest would look very different. In the Mud that I played, called Sojourn or Toral Mud, was super big on social. You needed to be in a guild. I still have friends today that were in that guild. Some of those people I was even able to bring onto the EverQuest team. So, like you said, that's what was so great. Was these are real people. I've never met them in real life. That one guy's in Florida. One story I like to tell is one of the guys in our guild seemed like just a regular, super nice guy. We chatted all the time, and then one day it got out that he was 12 years old. And you know what I mean, but that he did a darn good job making sure that didn't get out for as long as possible, and it just shows you. I mean, I have friends that were in Europe or wherever in Asia, friends of all ages. Another friend of mine, she's in her 60s and she loved playing cleric and helping everybody out. So I was very much inspired, and I learned that. It's got to be a good game, but that social component, those friendships, that's what makes you keep coming back. And that's why if at 3 in the morning, if I got an email or something saying, hey, we're stuck over here in the depths of this dungeon, we need our buddies to log in and come help us out. Well, you would do that because these are really guys that would help you out as well. So that social component is.
And that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about EverQuest when it came to that is that the gameplay could often be very punishing. Look, one of the things that a lot of people who grew up on World of Warcraft or some of the later MMOs that, in my opinion, for the record, just copied your original formula, made slight changes to it, and then you went on forward with that. But one of the things that you guys did with that punishing gameplay, like corpse recovery. Corpse recovery in EverQuest was a social event. When you died, for the people who'd never played EverQuest, when you died in EverQuest, your belongings, everything you owned, everything you carried, would be on your character's corpse. And with a 24-hour window, I think that was extended later, but originally you had a 24-hour window to recover that corpse before everything you'd worked for would disappear. And often that would require you to fight. And EverQuest had this mechanic where 2 or 3 people could not handle a group of monsters. You needed a full balanced group. You needed the healer, you needed the tank, you needed the enchanter, you needed a group of people to help. And that kind of thing really fostered friendships. Now, is that something you guys are looking forward to with Pantheon?
Very much so. I don't know at this point if the death penalty, the corpse retrieval, will be as strict. Definitely it won't be a thing where like your corpse poofs in 8 hours or anything like that.
Right.
Of course, with Chris Duncan, had some great moments during his career with the Cardinals, and we take a look at one of them. October 2nd, 2005, the Cards playing their final regular season game at Busch Stadium 2. Dunk homering for the first time in his big league career. And the best part was watching Pop. He loved it. That was awesome.
That was such a cool moment. You see right there, I mean, that was the final home run at Busch Stadium 2, a moment that will go down in history. You see all the smiles there. You see how happy everybody is for Chris Duncan. And you see the proud Papa right there. What a pretty swing Dunk had. The big-time power. I mean, put everything into it. In 2006, 22 home runs. Look, the Cardinals are not champions. We don't win a World Series if it's not for everything that Chris Duncan did and put into it. And it's this stuff, right? I mean, it's the home runs, it's the power, but it's him. It was the presence, it was the personality, everything, you know, all wrapped into one special human being.
Game 5 home run in the NLCS, and of course getting an RBI in Game 1 of the World Series against the Tigers. Dunk front and center during the World Series celebration. A year that obviously all of us, including Brad, will never forget.
Oh, and again, a World Series, a celebration, memories that don't happen if not for that guy.
And some folks via social media, including his manager, your manager, Tony La Russa, saying, my favorite message to Cardinal fans is every time you celebrate the 06 World Series championship, remember, we got into the playoffs the last game without Chris's clutch production. As Brad just mentioned, we miss October and so much else that made him special. Rest in peace, Chris Duncan. Also, Albert. My prayers go out to the family of Chris Duncan tonight. We had some great times as teammates in the STL. He was a dear friend and a strong competitor on and off the field. If anyone could have beat this cancer, I always believed Dunk would. Rest in peace, buddy. You will be missed. Our thoughts are with his wife, Amy, his pop, Dave, brother, Shelley, and the rest of his family and friends during this difficult time. Chris Duncan passing away at the early age of 38. He will be missed.
I'm going to explain. It is a replica of the timeline of the science and engineering history at MIT that hangs in the lobby of the Koch Institute. It shows the whole history from our founding in 1861 up till the present with the inauguration of the Koch Institute. The inscription reads, presented to David H. Koch, class of 1962, by President Susan Hockfield, with gratitude on the occasion of the dedication of the David H. Koch Institute for Integrative Cancer Research at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. The timeline exhibits the parallel histories of these disciplines during MIT's first 150 years. The timeline is a continuum, closing with an opening, anticipating future discoveries. David, thank you so very, very much. And I hope we'll get you to say a few words. Thanks.
Well, good evening, everyone. This is a remarkable inspiration event this evening. I can't tell you how much it means to me to be here. It's one of the most meaningful occasions of my life. And thank you, Susan, for that very kind introduction. Your comments are very gracious and very much appreciated. And thanks to all of you in the audience for being here this evening to help make this event one of the most important ones of my life. In my own words, I'd like to also recognize the presence of my wife, Julia, who came up from New York this afternoon to be here, and my brother Charles and his wife, Liz, who flew all the way in from Kansas to be here this evening and tomorrow. Thank you, Charles and Liz and Julia, for being here. I'd like to make some comments about Dr. Harold Varmus. Harold, as you know, is the director of the National Cancer Institute. He, I think, spoke beautifully this evening. I loved his history about Salvador Luria and the other information he described about the origins of the Cancer Institute here at MIT. Last year, Harold retired after 10 years as president of the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York City. He performed absolutely magnificently in that job, and today that institution is in a far better shape as a result of his tremendous service. I should know, as I've been a trustee of Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center for over 20 years. I wish Harold great success in improving the National Cancer Institute as much as he has improved Memorial Sloan Kettering. Go get him, Harold. It is hard to believe that it was almost 3 years ago that many of us here this evening assembled on this exact spot to participate in a wonderful and inspirational groundbreaking ceremony. The proposed research building was a most ambitious project. It was to be built in only 3 years, which is a remarkable short time for such a complex building. The size was to be 365,000 square feet, and the cost was estimated at $305 million. The building was designed to be large enough to contain a maximum of 500 occupants, half of whom were to be basic cancer researchers, and the other half bioengineers. And finally, it was hoped that this structure would be extremely functional as well as beautiful. This was the dream, and in my humble judgment, it has succeeded magnificently on all accounts. Not only is the building immensely loved by the occupants, but it was completed under budget and several months ahead of schedule, an achievement that both the MIT administration and myself assuredly are most pleased about the project. How did this miracle come to pass? Let me review some history that many of you may already know, which Harold has covered to some extent. Dr. Salvador Luria, a Nobel laureate, proposed a cancer research center for MIT in December 1972. The ultimate choice for the research facility for this endeavor, it turned out to be a chocolate factory on Ames Street, just a few hundred yards from where we are tonight. This facility was taken over, and over the next 2 years, converted to a research laboratory, opening in mid-1974. This new laboratory served the Cancer Center well for many years, but by the end of the 1990s, it had become overcrowded and very much obsolete. The leaders of the Cancer Center began pleading for construction of a world-class laboratory building to compete with the many cancer research laboratories being built by other institutions across the country. Due to other priorities, the MIT administration delayed acting on
つでも死ぬ覚悟。
What attracts me to the samurai genre is the fact that samurai have a responsibility to die. The lifestyle of living each day so seriously, as if it were their last, is what really interests me.
動物の中で
Out of all the mammals, only a human and an elephant know that they will die. When an elephant knows it is soon going to die, it goes off to be alone. Since a samurai has a short life, he dedicates himself to the king.
このカナで
For this project, the main character is a beautiful girl named Kana, and she is traveling with a man from hell named Mud. The overall idea takes place in a world during a time of war. And there is a god who wants to end this war, so he doesn't allow it to rain. The lack of water keeps everyone from fighting. But the only place where water is available in the world is where the god sheds his tears. There won't be any war if there's no water. That is the entire concept.
戦が止んで
Hell wants to prolong the war because they want more people who have died from fighting to inhabit hell. This is why Kana and Mud are sent to the world.
まあいろんな形の
For participants of this project, it's hard to offer any advice since there are many writers with their own style. It really wouldn't be fair for me to say.
自分で書くつもりじゃなくて
What I can say is that it is always difficult to start a project from the blank page. Whenever I start, I pray to God, and the God makes me write it.
日本の漫画
Here at Comic-Con, I'm surprised that I didn't see any more Japanese comics on the show floor. There were some Naruto, Nuroriya no Mago, a new comic coming out called Thermairamai, and Silver Spoon. Other than that, I didn't really see anything. The comics aren't on the show floor, probably because they haven't been turned into feature films. My Lone Wolf and Cub might be the first thing you see adapted into a feature film.
Hey guys, it's Ryan Higa. Make sure you guys check out Geek Week August 4th through August 10th. On Monday, August 5th, YamMF is going to be hosting Global Geekery. Make sure you guys tune in to our epic Geek Week music video, How to Be More Asian. 2.
Yeah, but you're a real pro wrestler. Okay, look at the karate stance right away. Jason Mayhem Miller.
Who can forget the battle he had with George St. Pierre?
Trying to take him down here early in the fight.
And he's getting off first. Got the Muay Thai clinch. Loden's got to do something. He's got to go over the top. He's defending the takedown now. It's going to be hard to take Loden down, though.
That's right, for the guillotine. Interesting matchup here. We know about their personalities from the Ultimate Fighter. We know about Mayhem. I mean, my God, look at his hair.
That's right. You go out there telling him he's got a yellow stripe.
I'll do it in a heartbeat, but, you know, that's just because we're friends.
So Jason is all over Lodune Sincaid at the moment. Muay Thai. You mentioned the George St. Pierre fight. They fought at 170 pounds. Now he's fighting at 205.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
The growing boys.
We'll show that, you know, tonight may show that he's a force in this weight class also. He is definitely content with the clinch, with the Muay Thai knees.
And he's got it down with a simple pull down.
Almost got his back. The hook in.
You know, Loden didn't really want to be on the ground in this position because there's a lot of ways that Jason can exploit him here. By getting him out like this and getting the hook.
Double hook in.
Not a good position for Lodune Sincaid. Rear naked choke will be next. Loden standing up.
It's a little high up on him.
Yeah, he's going to shuck it off. Lodune doing the proper defense, keeping his hips a little bit high, trying to slide out the back door, but he could slide right into an armbar if he's not careful.
Mayhem's on pretty tight.
Okay, Jason Miller now has a figure 4 around the waist of Sincaid to block any further escaping. It's been all Miller so far here, halfway through the first round.
And this is where he wants to fight, isn't it?
I think so, but he was doing great standing up, too. I mean, he's coming out with a full package.
Yeah, I believe that wherever the fight is, it favors Jason.
Hey, YouTube. I normally don't do videos with my likeness herself. This guy right here. Mucho better looking. But I have to address the ridiculousness of kid drag queens. Also the photo with the child with a grown naked adult man, and yet no charges, CPS, police, no one called, nothing filed. That's nothing short of child pornography. If we switch the script in any way, if that was a little female child with a grown adult male naked, there would be riots in the street. But yet, with this current just ridiculous acceptance of such, nothing. I am not only angered, but I'm totally disappointed in society currently. You can look throughout history, for example, Rome. Alpha male statues at the beginning, men, you know. And I'm not saying gays or trannies and all that are not men and male, and the simple fact is they are, and that's the issue. But then they, Society of Rome, they went into more beta male, stuff like that, more acceptance, the Caligula era where everybody was doing everybody. Look what happened. Rome crumbled. That's our current position right now in the States. One generation's tolerance is the next generation's acceptance. And I refuse, and a lot of my close friends refuse to accept this. I would like to start this video by asking for someone, myself possibly might, I'm just not as computer legit as far as other people might be out there, to start a petition to seek jail time for not only the photographer but the mother. As a child, when I went to grandma's house and stuff, she'd put me in a nightgown when I went to bed, and that was just simplicity. That's what she had, and that was the sleeping. I had an older sister. I played with dolls and stuff. Grew up straight as an arrow. What I'm saying, my point is, kids go through trends and stuff, discovering themselves. The frontal lobe, that's why they always said teenagers are crazy. Your frontal lobe ain't even developed until your early 20s. So that being said, these hormones, corrective surgeries at such a young age should be child abuse. It should be detrimental. Get to a position in life where you're really secure of who you truly are. I'm 45 right now, and I'm still discovering daily my goals and ambitions. So don't stunt the goals and ambitions of a young child. I don't want to get too off subject, but I believe it's a part of Agenda 21, depopulation. The sperm counts have fallen in the younger generation. Less people are getting married. The list goes on. You can do the research yourself. So cute. I'm going to wrap this up. LoduneMA.com is off subject my website about fitness and martial arts and seminars available. But let's really come together and put a stop to this, and the tolerance got to go, and the acceptance cannot happen. It's really time to make a stand, and I'm at a loss for words. I'm going to end at this. It's ridiculous that this is literally socially acceptable. Even post-op, the tranny community has an incredible suicide rate. So, again, this ain't a bash on their community, this, that, or the other, but when you have a young child performing, I guess is what they call it, on stage, and grown men are throwing dollars at them, I take issue with that. Everybody else that has true moral value and a legitimate backbone should do as well. That's all I gotta say about that. Love you all, at least most.
I can't live with unbearable pain, especially when I think things are deteriorating further. Most top athletes quit because they get too old, or because they're at the peak of their career and it's getting too much to train hard every day. With me, I had to quit because of my condition. I was set on committing suicide. Thanks to euthanasia, you know that you'll be able to die in a peaceful manner, without pain. I'm Marieke Vervoort, I'm 37, and this is my life story.
Belgium's Marieke Vervoort has won 3 world titles and 4 Paralympic medals in the T52 classification for wheelchair races. She has also completed the Ironman Hawaii Triathlon. But Marieke's sporting success belies a life of constant pain. She has a terminal spinal disease, which led her to sign euthanasia documents in 2008. Transworld Sport met up with her in Diest, northern Belgium.
In 2000, I ended up in a wheelchair, which was incredibly difficult for me. I just couldn't stand on crutches any longer. I wasn't walking properly anymore. I was just dragging my legs, really, moving the crutches forward and pulling my legs behind me. It was very tough at the beginning. They then discovered cervical nerve problems in my spinal cord. That's why I have lower paralysis and limited movement in my hands. But we still don't know the reason for the epileptic seizures, which caused me to stop breathing.
The side effects of the disease are profound, but Marieke has refused to be a passive bystander. She's completed a 60-meter bungee jump and is gearing herself up for a skydive. However, athletics has always been her biggest passion.
What I like so much about wheelchair racing is the buzz it gives me. The moment you're on the start line and they say, on your marks, and then my heart beats like ba-boom, ba-boom. That is simply an incredible moment. And then, when the start gun is fired, from start to finish I push everything I have in my body onto those wheels. If I'm angry or frustrated, or if I'm worried about something, it suddenly disappears. I love it so much. It's fantastic.
Marieke reached the pinnacle of her sport in 2012, At her debut Paralympics in London, she won a silver medal in the T52 class of the 200 metres before claiming gold in a Paralympic record time in the 100 metres. Against all the odds, she was a Paralympic champion. She went on to win 3 world titles in Doha in 2015. But it was her 2 medals at this year's Rio Paralympics, following 4 years of increasing pain, that saw her make headlines around the world.
It's been a very tough year. I was hospitalised many times, and I had to skip several training sessions. But in the end, Rio was a very special event. My goal was to finish with 2 medals from my 2 events, and that's what I did. I came home with silver in the 400 metres and bronze in the 100 metres, so that was simply incredible. It still hasn't sunk in, really. I haven't fully come to grips with it yet.
On the track, Marieke has triumphed on the biggest platform for disability sport. Off it, she requires 24-hour assistance. The 37-year-old has a help dog, which in homage to her Buddhist beliefs, she calls Zen, meaning peace. Not only does Zen assist in Marieke's day-to-day life, but she's lived up to her name by becoming Marieke's soulmate.
Zen is the absolute best thing that has ever happened to me. She came into my life in 2008, a moment when mentally it was extremely tough for me. She helps me. She doesn't put emphasis on the things I can't do. Instead, the emphasis is on how she can enable me. For example, if I drop a Eurocent coin, she will pick it up for me. She takes off my socks and my jacket. If I fall down, I can give her the signal to start barking continuously, so people come and check why she is making so much noise. If I get an epileptic seizure, she will sense it coming an hour in advance, and she will start pacing around me in a very anxious way, and she will not leave me alone.
Thanks to Zen and a dedicated support team, Marieke currently enjoys more good days than bad ones. However, there will come a point in the not-too-distant future when the disease engulfs her body.
Good night, my love. I said till you sleep.
In 2008, Marieke was on the brink of suicide, scared of what the future might hold. But instead, she decided to sign documents committing to euthanasia, which is legal in only 4 countries around the world, one of which is Belgium.
So let's fade out together.
There's one thing I've learned in Digiworld. Beds don't make good boats. Oh. Did I just hear you eating again? Uh-huh. Didn't I tell you not to eat all the food since we don't know when we'll find land? I told you that we'd need to ration, which means to save food for later, as in much later.
But it is later, Joe. You told me that 20 minutes ago.
20 minutes is not much later! Please tell me that there is still some food in the bag!
Well, no. Since you can't handle eating and floating on the ocean at the same time, I ate it all. Besides, I need food to digivolve in case we run into bad Digimon.
So, have we seen any bad Digimon? No! If I starve, who are you gonna protect?
That's enough about food.
Oh.
Things will get better soon. Hang in there, buddy. Huh?
Huh?
That crate is gonna hit us!
Huh? Maybe it's full of fruit, vegetables, bread, milk, cereal, hot dogs, cookies, candy, soda.
I wish.
You wish? We wouldn't need more food if you hadn't eaten ours.
You're strong when you're hungry.
Starvation is a good motivator. Looks like I'll need a jackhammer to open this. Let's see.
That's not good.
Have you caught a cold, boss?
No, I'm sure there's probably just a pretty girl talking about me somewhere.
Somehow I find that hard to believe.
I'm sorry, did you say something?
No, nothing. You know, I just happen to have a little remedy that'll knock that cold right out.
Remedy? Are you nuts? This expired 2 years ago.
It's nicely aged, like a fine wine.
No, I'm not gonna swallow that.
Yeah.
No, stop, get that stuff away from me. What are you, some kind of witch doctor? Get away!
Figured as much.
That stuff was horrible. Are you trying to kill me? Oh.
Don't worry, I've got a remedy that'll take care of that stomach of yours. I'll get some from the garden. Sit tight, I'll be right back.
Kill me, aren't you?
Gotta love Victory Lane here at Bristol. Very unique, on top of the media center here at Bristol. Ralph?
Well, here is Mike Stefanik, and he is coming out quick. Come on out here, Mike. Yeah. Here he is, your Bristol winner. How about it, Mike Stefanik, one of the all-time great modified drivers in history. All the things you have done in your career, and here you are finally in Victory Lane at Bristol. How's that feel?
This is so awesome. I got to thank Chris Auer for giving me the opportunity. I'm not going to be in this sport very much longer, trust me. This is just a fantastic day for our team. We've had an up and down season. We had a tough day at Daytona, as everybody saw, and we bounced back with a win, but we've been struggling. Todd Zagerty ran me really clean and hard. I was very glad to get the lead back. I didn't think we completed a lap, but that's the way the rules go. Thanks to everybody. I got to say hello to my wife, Julie, at home. I know she would love to be here for this, and I'm just elated, relieved and elated.
Tell me about the pass for the lead. We've got it right here on the screen for you. How'd you get it done?
Well, let's see. He got loose there, as you can see. He got loose, and I just turned underneath him, raced him off the corner, and then cleared him down into 3. So awesome, man, awesome. Winning never gets boring. I'm 55 years old. It never gets boring. I can't wait for my team to get here. Where are they?
Mike, it's rare that you see Mike Stefanik do something new for a change, right?
And it's the second time at Bristol that the final lead change in a modified race comes in the final 10 laps. Well, Mike Stefanik was so PO'd at Daytona after getting knocked out of the lead with the checkered flag in sight that he became a meme on Jay Leno's Tonight Show. I hope that Jay has a chance to look at this and gets to see the Mike Stefanik we know.
Get everything under control. You know,
Switch over. Tom. Great.
Listen, crazy.
All right. What I thought.
Studios in London. I sat down in the chair waiting for George. He walks in the door and I stand up. George goes, hello, I'm George Lucas. And turned around and said, I think we found him. And that basically was the interview. In an hour, we were down at the costumiers in London getting the costume made.
Chewie? Take care of yourself, okay? I loved Chewbacca, the character, because it was sort of epitomized a person's love for his dog.
Come on, Chewie, let's check it out.
And yet it's taking it that one step further to not only wishing that you could communicate with your dog, but being successful and being able to understand them. Hey, you keep that up, buddy. And, you know, knowing exactly what he's saying.
I didn't do the voice. The voice is a brown bear. Recorded in San Diego Zoo by Ben Burt, who did all the sounds on all the movies. And he recorded it when he was happy.
They decided somewhere along the way, somewhere around about 85 or 86, with Totally Minnie to bring her back. And there were, oh my goodness, there must have been about 160 people who auditioned for her. And I got lucky, very lucky. The best part is that I, ran into Wayne and here we are.
Oh, well, so much for special effects. Relax. I used to think I was a nobody too. Watch this. In fact, I used to be a little, mousy.
Yep, and tomorrow we're gonna dye eggs. It's not missing. I have it. See, I have to be very careful with this egg. It's gonna be my very own secret special Easter egg.
Oh, everybody knows the king. Come in. Look, honey, it's the king.
Well, no, Your Majesty. Pearl went out tonight. She could be anywhere. She does what she pleases. Usually we don't make waves.
Hello, Mr. Duck. I look so forward to learning about life in Duckburg, Mr. Duck. I just know that these 2 weeks will be out of this world. Hi, Eddie. Hi, Eddie. Hi, Eddie. Hi, Eddie.
Whoa! I don't believe it. A mega brain unit. Ooh, I've always wanted to try one of these things. Oh boy, oh boy. Me? Oh, Widget. Apprentice Watcher, second class.
Perfection is not something to be rushed, Gusty. The sun is the lamp that lights our valley. It gives color to our fields and flowers and spreads beauty and love with its warmth.
What could happen?
It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining. Life is wonderful.
Wow, it's us, Uncle Scrooge. You mean you'll support our program? You don't care anything about sport, Goofy. And after all he's done for this team.
Hiya, Ronald. I'm giving flying lessons. Oh, we don't need a plane. Nope. Hang on, Ronald. Up we go.
Amos Slade, I told you to keep your beasts away from my Todd. That mangy house of yours just cost me a bucket of milk. Well, as long as you're wasting my milk, you may as well have some pie to go along with it.
Oh, little puppet. Now you are a real boy.
Oh, what a special date this is going to be. Now, Daisy, we have to wait for our dear friend Maggie to get here.
Right up. Don't be shy. Look like a prince. Talk like a poet. Smell like a petunia. Madame Placebo, mistress of miracles, motions, lotions, and potions. Tell me, kind sir, what is it that you desire?
Hi, what's your name? I'm Lana. Let's sit up here. Oh, this is great. Do it again. Are you gonna help us, lady? I guess. They're always following me around. I don't know. What's wrong, Timmy? Nobody. Oh, my hands! What do you think, Grammy? It's Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Oh, they make fun. They don't like me bothering them. They think I'm a tag-along. I wish Uncle Scrooge was here. He's beat these turkeys dozens of times. Uncle Scrooge! That's it! He's at his candy factory right now! Let's go!
I'm not sure if you realize how much the other animals are laughing at you.
Oh, he's got my pocketbook! Oh, he's got
大丈夫歌えるよ伴奏なんかなくったってねはあ近頃疲れてないかいマックスらしくないぞそうイライラ病にもプンプン病にもなんてだって田舎が一番父さんに任せなさい元気出せマックスあ
まったくこんなのありかよまったく惨めな気分焼きた香りオンボログうんざりだ信じられない夢の花冷めてくれ
心ウキウキ胸も弾むこの地図に夢託し
愛しのロクサヌ待ってておくれ絶対生きて帰るよ
父と息子の旅は
できるように咲いて
触れ合う
頭キタキレそう
なんだか胸がキュンとしちゃう
悲しくて泣きたいよ
そうなんだのドライブだ
ちょっとねこの先はなしび貴様
気をつけろよ 生そんなに焦るなってシャバに出るときは65そういう普通なドライブだ
世界は二人のためなんてロマンティックなんだろう行列ねえカリフォルニアまで乗せてってほらどきなさいだらどれこなせると怖いわよ
男同士の気ままな